Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hannah from ADP 9A, and I still remember the first time flying on an airplane. I was about 5 years old by the time. Nervous and excited, I moved towards my seat next to the window. As the plane began to take off, the flight attendant started going through some safety instructions. But I was so mesmerized by the scenery outside of the window that I wasn't paying much attention. Until I heard something that literally snapped me out of my daydream. Put on your oxygen mask first before helping others. At 5, that feels strange, almost wrong. Why would you say that? Why would we be helping ourselves first? Shouldn't the first instinct be to help others, a child, an elderly, or someone with disabilities? After all, isn't that what we were taught growing up? So I turned to my mom, tugged on her sleeve, whispering, Mom, did you hear that? Why did she say that? Shouldn't we be helping others who need help? That is so weird. She smiled and said, Darling, it's because if you can't breathe, you cannot help anyone at all. During the entire flight, the instructions line kept lingering in my mind. I still didn't get it. I mean, it just felt so wrong. How could you not help someone who needs it? So I decided if an emergency ever happened, I would help my mom first. That was the kind of kid I was, always caring for the others. But as I grew older, I started to understand the deeper meaning behind that instructions line. You can't help anyone else with their oxygen mask if you're struggling to breathe yourself. Or put more simply, if you die, you can't help anyone at all. That makes perfect logical sense. Of course, that is what we should do. But do we? We have grown up being taught to help others, to share, to be kind, to lend a hand whenever someone is in need. And while that is true, somewhere along the way, we care about others' needs so much that we often overlook our own. We get so caught up with being there for the others, caring about what they think, about how they feel, about their mental well-being, that we eventually run out of oxygen ourselves. But why? Why do we have to do that? Why do we have to constantly push ourselves to care for the others? The reason behind that is simply because deep down, we all want to be someone that actually matters. We want to be the supportive friend. We want to be the admired classmates. We want to be the perfect partner. We want to be someone that others can count on. And that is not a bad thing. However, the fact is that you cannot become the person you want to be if you don't learn to love yourself first. Self-love here isn't just a catchy phrase that sounds good on Instagram captions or TikTok reels. Self-love here is choosing to treat yourself with the same kindness, love, and compassion that you give to the people you love. It's about recognizing your own value and treating yourself in a loving way. It's about putting yourself ahead even when the world is pulling in different directions. It's about understanding that you also deserve to be loved. Now, I want you to think about this. When was the last time you asked yourself, how am I doing right now? Here, I don't mean the casual, how's everything that you ask without really meaning it? Seriously. I mean, actually asking yourself, how am I actually feeling inside? If it's been a while, you are not alone. In a world that is constantly evolving, most of us don't stop to care about these things because we have so much more to care about. We are so busy keeping up with work, taking care of our families, and meeting expectations that we eventually forget to take a step back and have a look at our own needs. Now, let's have a look at Lim Joo-kyung from the famous Korean drama True Beauty. Have any of you guys here heard or have watched it before? In case you haven't, the movie revolves around a high school student who has always been insecure about her appearance. Growing up, she was constantly teased and bullied by her classmates for her appearance, which left her feeling small and ashamed of herself. Therefore, in order to hide her bare face, Joo-kyung relies on a thick makeup cover to transform her appearance. With her new look, she transfers to a different school where no one recognizes her. Does that help? Yes. At first, it worked. Joo-kyung's makeup gives her the confidence that she has always been looking for. She feels accepted, admired, and being praised for her beauty. For the first time, she is no longer afraid of being judged or criticized. But over time, a new fear starts to take over. What if someone sees her without the makeup cover? What if they will once again judge and reject her for her appearance? The very thought left her terrified, and eventually, she became trapped in a different kind of prison, one built by her own insecurities and fear of rejection. How many of us here can relate to Joo-kyung's story? Maybe not with makeup, but with other masks that we wear, to perhaps play a role that makes us feel accepted. And eventually, just as Joo-kyung, we ended up being trapped into the same cycle and failed to show up as our best self. So, how do we break free from this cycle? How do we learn to love and accept ourselves? It starts by understanding, by recognizing what we truly appreciate and knowing what we actually want. It's about accepting that we are not perfect, that everyone has flaws. We all make mistakes, we all fail, but in the end, it's about what you have learned and how you have grown from those experiences. Self-love, it's about giving ourselves permission to prioritize our own mental well-being. It's about understanding that we all deserve to be loved, not because of what we do, but simply who we are. Self-love, it's about recognizing that we are enough, that we don't have to constantly work to solidify ourselves in what is called these standards placed upon us by society. It's about saying no when you're burnt out. It's about saying no to something that you don't really want to do. It's about saying no to the toxic relationships that you want to get rid of. And it's about saying yes to your true self. And as the movie comes to an end, Joo-kyung finally decided to stop hiding behind those makeup covers. And what she discovers is that those who truly value her will stay for who she is, not how she looks. She realized that her worth isn't tied to society's so-called standards, but lies in her individuality. The person she is, the flaws she has, and everything that made her unique. So remember, the next time you face a challenge, a moment of complete burnout, or just simply feeling as if you're running on empty, give yourself time to breathe and give yourself the attention you need. And eventually, in the end, you'll think, who would have ever thought not putting their oxygen mask first in such an emergency case? Thank you.